What's going on, you guys? Happy Thursday. I can't believe it's Thursday already. But what does that mean? Time is just flying. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is a sister chat. I really felt today like, you know what? Me and some of my girls got to get together and talk about what we've learned thus far this year. Okay. Last year was a situation, but I don't know about you, but there were such residual effects that trickled over into this year that really transformed us, grew us up. There were some lessons and some blessings. So I think it's a good time to talk about it. You know, I see we got Mark Nash in the building. Thank you. Peace to us and the ladies. That's right. I got an all-star lineup. You know, I just roll with the best here. Okay. So let me get my girls in here. Let's start with my girls, Anita.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me just fine?
Yep, perfectly.
You look radiant. Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
girl. Yes. Thank you for having your coffee and being available. Are you on the East?
I am.
Okay. I'm sorry. Good evening. Like, look, let me lower my voice.
I'm like, yeah, I need some coffee. I'm usually in bed by 9 o'clock. So I love you, girl.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad. You know, I was just like, you know what? Something just told me to hit you. So I did, because I just feel like you have so much to add to this conversation and people would benefit from it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see who else we got up in here. I think there's a famous actress on the line who goes by the name of Tani Belafonte.
Well, darling, it's Belafonte, honey.
Oh, excuse me, Belafonte.
Yes, honey, you got to add the
Put the little accent on there. Girl, you know what's crazy is we're so close, but 3 out of 4 times I'm messing up your name. Like, what is my deal?
You know what? You get a pass. But yeah, you have to get it together.
It's time for me to get it together.
It's about that time.
It's about that time. So Zenaida, Tani Zenaida. We'll all get to know each other up in here.
To get my life. 9 o'clock, I'm getting ready for round 3, like fourth quarter. She in bed. I'm like, what's going on? Where we at? What we doing?
What's the after party?
8:30 to be exact, but you know, I won't.
Okay, tell me you got like 5 kids.
I have 2 and a dog.
Okay,
you can
so
probably
you get a pass.
hear. I'm up at 4:30, so yeah.
Look, so are we.
Okay. You know what? No, well, yes, we are. We're not waking up, but we up.
Just still up from the night before. You're talking to some night owls, honey. We don't ever have it together, okay? So 9 o'clock
so old
is like...
right now.
When did that happen? When did we get old? Oh my gosh.
Right.
I don't know
we
when
are
it
not
happened.
old. Oh no, I'm interrupting this right now because we are not old. But you know who is from the Queen's Glean panel? Y'all know Miss Love and Good Music. We got Queen Cookie in the building. Let's bring her in.
I finally made it. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
My bad. Hi everybody. Oh my gosh. I love it. Hello, ladies.
How you doing?
So you're the only one on the West Coast, so you're good. It's after work. You can eat dinner when you're done, and it's good to go.
I'm having my wine down.
Oh, that's what I needed to finish getting. Oh.
Yes, please. I had mine yesterday. I had half a bottle. I put up my Christmas tree and made some cookies. It was a blast.
You got your Christmas tree up, Jamie?
I sure did. Y'all want to see? I think I could do a little peek.
Yes, let's see it. Girl, goals. Jamie, wow, you are.
It's
so
doing pretty.
It.
That's impressive.
You are doing it. I cannot.
It's like
the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree people haven't even started to arrange themselves outside selling the trees. But you already got yours up.
Girl, the tree is up. The lights are on the patio. We're good to go.
Wow.
They heard Patti LaBelle Christmas last night.
Like Thanksgiving, what?
Yeah. Exactly.
We here.
Well, thank you, beautiful ladies, for joining me for this conversation. Now, it just was on my mind, and feeling like it was really important to kind of talk about some of the stuff that we've learned over this year, because it's been a really deeply transformative year, and it's like different than all the other years that kind of felt like chaos and this, and we didn't know. I don't know. So, you know, there's a lot of facets to it, but I wanted to talk to you guys because you're amazing women who are always growing and evolving and accomplishing. And I think the audience can learn a lot just from hearing about how you polished up over 2021. What did you learn? What did you see? Definitely, because we could start with you, Queen Cookie, and work our way around, or whatever works. What's one thing that you learned? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And first and foremost, shout out to Mark Nash. You know, we
Mark
gotta give a shout out to the
Nash.
homie. He's
Woo-hoo.
always supported Queens Glean.
Yes.
And you know, all the beautiful ladies on the panel. I'm really excited to have some different faces and to finally meet Zanat. Is it Zanade, right? Is that how you say it?
Zaneta.
Zaneta. Oh my God. Okay. I think
I mean, you couldn't tell by that E at the end. I don't know what my mother was thinking.
Yeah, no, but I've been following you for a while. I love your posts. So I'm like, oh my God, she's on the panel. I mean, of course, I've learned many things this year, but I think the one thing that I wanted to bring that I'm most proud of is just being a better mommy to my son and the lessons that I've learned in just I had to really take a step back when I would get angry, like of things that he would do, and then just, you know, really like he's a little human, he's just learning, you know. And so I think sometimes as parents we just get frustrated and we're like, oh my God, how could you? And they really don't know. And I would feel myself like on edge so much a lot, you know, and I was just like, okay, I need to really see this from a different angle. And just talking to friends, talking to other parents, it was really helpful for me seeing how they do it, how they, you know, and just how people scold their kids, you know, not spanking. I don't, you know, and how do you still have good kids turned out and be respectful, and just, you know, conversing with other mothers and, you know, seeing how they parent their children, and especially well-behaved children. I'm like, okay, how'd you get them like that? But that was big for me because, you know, a couple of times, you know, my mom kind of got on me about what type of mother I was, and I was like, am I that type of mother? And you know, that it was a little hurtful, but then I had to like really sit with that information. I was just like, okay, like it's okay that I was messing up. I recognize it now, and like now how can I fix it? Because I think sometimes a lot of parents don't recognize it and they don't fix it, and then their kids end up with loads of trauma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't want to say being a better parent as like the blanket, but yeah, it really was just finding where my irritants were, finding where, you know, maybe some of my childhood trauma was still coming out in me being a parent, and, you know, changing those ways.
Yeah, that's really good, girl. Because I think about the work. I don't have children yet, but I think about it, girl. When I'm walking around here frustrated with certain things, like, Jamie, that's an inanimate object. Relax. What you so on edge for? And usually it'll be like, you know, your cycle, or you're overworked, or you need a moment, or this or that. So I'm glad that you're finding ways to take it down a notch and just create the space that you want to create, so little Seven can live his best life.
It's about me wanting to be a better parent. Like I really want to, like, and it starts with me, you know, it totally starts with me and the decisions that I make. And, you know, I can't blame anybody but myself. So, you know, it just really was like, I would get mad at myself when, you know, I feel like I let him down. And so, you know, it's just more about me wanting him to have his best life. So it takes, you know, me having to have some discipline and having, you know, seeing some things from a different angle sometimes, not always from just my mommy world, but from his eyes, his 3-year-old eyes. It's important.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you, girl.
Yeah, no, it's real in these streets. I'm trying to learn how to be a mom, y'all.
You're doing a good job, because I remember you pre-mommy, and now you're mommy. This is different, you know?
Now I'm like an actual mom. I know.
That's crazy. You in there, girl. He's 3. This is serious.
I know. I'm like a real mom, guys.
And you got to take it easy on yourself too. I'm a veteran mom. I don't know who else may be. Do you have Miss Belafonte? Did I say it right?
Yes, you did, honey.
Okay. Or do you have kids?
Not yet. Maybe one day, God willing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, as a veteran mom, I'd say just be easy on yourself, as long as, you know, definitely take that time to breathe. At different stages, I have evolved. My first, I think I was a big disciplinarian and just on my oldest daughter so much about everything because I wanted her to be great. I didn't want her to, stumble into stupid stuff I stumbled into. And then by my middle child, I was just, my second child, I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to be as, hard on her. But then my last, which is she's 8 now, like she does whatever the hell she wants, which is just hilarious. And I'm just watching her thrive and just be her awesome self. So, you just go through those stages and, don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
I find that so interesting. Like how do you see the difference in their development being that you've been a different mom to all three?
Yeah. So my oldest, it is a great question. I had my oldest when I was younger, so I was a huge perfectionist. I didn't want anybody to say she's not being a good mom, she's young, she doesn't know what she's doing. So I followed, what's that damn book? What's that book? What to Expect When You're Expecting. That was like my textbook. So I had to be awesome. And I think now that it's weird because my oldest daughter, she thinks, a lot of times she's like, Mom, you're just being soft. You don't even say anything. And she feels on the flip side, she jokes about it on the flip side. I know she feels like, Mom, my entire life, you've been so hard on me. And now you're just now this evolved person, and she doesn't get it. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. You're just lazy or whatever. You're just being lazy.
Well, she thinks it's unfair. Yeah,
so she thinks it's unfair. Right. Absolutely. And then my youngest, it's, I don't know. I think they're all great in their own way. They did have different stages of me because I went from, being a teen to being a young adult to being a grown ass woman, and then just really focusing on self-care as well. So taking some of that time for myself, which I hadn't done I feel like my entire life. From that, it calmed me down a lot. And my oldest definitely doesn't get it. She just definitely does not think it's fair, but it is what it is. She's 22 now.
But she's good. She like,
she's fine.
Whatever hang ups she had, they're like not as evident, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm just like, I'm super curious about this. Like,
yeah.
Because I know there is a difference between the older child or the eldest to the middle to the baby. And so do you see, like, is the eldest more of a perfectionist and the youngest is more like of a fearless go-getter? Like, do you see the difference in their characteristics because of how you raised them in the different eras of you?
That's a great question. You're making me think right now. I would say you hit it spot on with the youngest, but the oldest, I think she is more of a radical, although obviously she's not doing it like, how can I piss my mom off? What she does is everything is totally against the status quo that I had her on, which I don't even follow anymore. But now she's just, she's in Las Vegas right now. She's having the time of her life with her friends for her birthday weekend. She just turned 22. And, I'm like, I seen some pictures. Yeah, I'm like,
she's going to do that because she has to be everything Mom didn't want her to be.
And she's doing it real tough.
Yeah.
She's sending me these half-dressed pictures, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, could you not dress like that out on a trip? Can you, like, whatever? But I think because of that, she's changed her name. In my personal circle, a lot of us know that her name, she'll kill me if I say her real name, but her new name is Mackenzie. And she's very adamant about that. Like, call me Mackenzie. Everything is, I'm not that person that you raised. And so I don't know. Yeah, but that distinction I see.
Yeah.
Wow,
Sounds
that's
like
very she's found her own footing.
Right. So don't be too hard.
Good or bad based on like the iron fist of the mom. But we never know. Yeah, we never know.
I was the same way though. I'm the eldest, and my mom was super tough on me. And then my baby brother, oh my God, he could do anything he wanted. The distinction that I see, Miss Belafonte, is I feel like as far as like success, I'm probably the most successful out of all of my mother's children. And I think it was the you have to. So that was ingrained in my mind that I had to. Whereas no shade to my little brother, but no pressure. No pressure. No pressure. Do what you
He's
want
the
to do.
baby.
You could paint and do all the things that you want to do. I didn't get those liberties. It was like, no, you're doing this. No, you're doing this. No, you're gonna do this. And yeah, I mean, there was a whole rebellious phase for me too. I was like, I'm not gonna do anything you guys wanted me to do, and I was out there living my life. But it also made me who I am, and so your daughter Mackenzie is going to be, she's going to find her way, and this is her journey, and it's her journey. We all got our journey.
Yes.
She's just having hers, and she might circle back to her true self and be like, no. My name is my birth name because I am back to myself right now.
Right.
She's gotta go through her, she's gotta go through her thing. As mothers, it's difficult to watch, I know, but you gotta let them go through their thing.
Yeah, I think boys are easier, but you know what, I have no basis on that, but I've raised 3 girls and they don't seem easier. So I don't so I don't know. But thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of 3 and I was the oldest. So I like the fact that I can talk to my parents about it now because they were hard on me and it did make me a perfectionist. And, it did allow me to, I probably needed it because I'll go, you know what I mean? Given a little bit too much free, I might have ended up somewhere else had, my parents not been so strict. And it did make me who I am. A lot of the stuff I got done, like Queen Cookie, when you were talking, I was thinking, yeah, if you don't get it done, it ain't going to get done. That's what I was kind of like raised on. So I was very hyper active and ambitious in a lot of the stuff that I did. But now it's kind of nice to go back to my dad and not only thank him because he was more the disciplinary, my mom. So I we have a different relationship, but I'll go to my dad and, let him know how much I appreciate, what he did and how he did it, even though now he confesses he would have done it differently. But then I also can side with him on that. Like, yeah, I mean, because I haven't changed. Yeah. I'm still not going to listen to certain things. I'm still going to do, but everything that made me seem so rebellious as a kid, like I was like low key on point for who I am and, what I have to offer the world. Like it's like kids, they do have a sense of, your parents have to reel you in so they can protect you. But there are such, individualities to kids that have to be expressed, I think, and explored in a certain way because it really is who they are. Like when I read things my dad wrote about me at 3 years old, I'm that today. I haven't changed, So just as an aside, all that to say is I'm sure she's going to appreciate you maybe more than you know at a certain point because it still shaped her in a great way. Right. Like,
yeah, no, they do later.
22, like, no, 22, everything still. She knows everything right now. So
you think and then you get older and you realize you knew nothing and you probably should have listened to your mama a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. And she's a Scorpio, so she's
bullheaded.
Yeah. Like 21 to 25, like you can't tell me nothing phase. No. And then after 25, you're like, oh my God, I have to start growing up because I'm halfway to 30. And then, the light, I feel like 27, the light bulb starts to click on. And then 30 hits, you're like, oh, I have arrived.
Yeah, right.
I have
arrived.
Gotta and hopefully she'll want to have a conversation.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. So I love that. Well, Zenaida, what's something that comes to mind when you think about something that this year taught you thus far?
Betting on myself. I am adamant about that.
I've been seeing your tweets. Talk to us.
Yes. So I've had my own business forever. It's going on like 16 years at this point. But, thank you. But some years it's just like highs and lows. And throughout those lows, I always get a job. Like that's what an entrepreneur does. Like, okay, I got to get a job. I had a really bad experience throughout the pandemic. I was working for this large nonprofit leading this whole digital department, and it was extremely toxic. It was horrible and terrible. I'll just say that. I won't even go any further. However, I, my boss at the time knew how great I was in digital strategy, and this is just, PR. I've been doing this work for years, but this woman would do anything in her power to just tear down my expertise, no matter what. And I caught on months later, like, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with my work. She actually is just trying to tear me down, which sucked, right? And I said, you know what? It's time for me to walk away. I did walk away from the job in the middle of a pandemic, like many people eventually did, and they still are. But it was just this preface of, or am I betting on myself? Am I living my life for someone else? And I don't, I'm not knocking anyone who has 9 to 5. It's beautiful. And if you feel you're fit there and whatever, it's great. But for me, I just wasn't feeling it there. And I said, I'm just going to leave. And I disrupted my entire household, obviously, financial reasons and other things. But, I said betting on myself is the biggest thing that I've learned this year. I had launched, if you know or don't know, I am the founder of the Black Women's Business Collective that launched about 18 months ago. And that this was this whole initiative on women, Black women betting on themselves, et cetera. And, so I went with that. And mostly me learning betting on myself wasn't just financial. That had a big part to do with it. But the other part was self-care. And I think you can bet on yourself by taking care of your health. We are always, especially for the moms, listening, or moms to be, whatever, we are usually in service of others. Always, whether it's a job or kids or your husband, your wife, whatever. And that's okay. There's something to be said about taking care of others, but we don't take care of ourselves enough. And betting on yourself, right? Like, how are you going to be here if you don't take care of yourself? And how can you take care of someone else if you don't take care of yourself? So that has been major. I started working out, 6 months. I'm always with the health kick, but just really hard body, 6 months working out and betting on myself. And how can I improve my body? How can I improve my skills? How can I improve my business? How can I bring more to the market given my God-given talents? And that has been my biggest lesson. I don't actually plan to turn on that. And just bringing that every morning with me, every meeting I have, every proposal I send out, how am I showing up? And is it in light of what I want to be in this world? And that's the greatest lesson that I've learned this year. I knew it years ago, but I really tapped in on it in 2021 and 2020, actually.
That's beautiful. I love it. Is it scary? Were you scared of that leap to really be your best self, and like that fear of success and tapping into the greatest part of you and then being like, oh, I don't know if I could sustain this?
Hell yeah. I mean, because I was getting paid it was decent. I had that in my contracts going on. So we were like living it up and traveling. We were just doing we was doing the damn thing. And we had like the savings, and I had just bought a house. So like a lot of things shifted for me in 2020 into 2021. So brand new house, got this job with traveling. My husband's in the military. So, all these things going on. And then I make that jump, which it wasn't like, certain emergencies just happen. It's like, oh, you lose your job. But like, I literally decided these things that changed the trajectory of my world right now. It is extremely nerve wracking. There's sometimes, like every single day I send out proposals. I have a really nice network, I believe. And that's been difficult because I'm just like, at the end of the day, if you don't pay me my worth, which is another lesson I've learned, if you don't pay me my worth, I can't pay my bills. I can't live. I can't, I have another daughter going to college in a couple of years. Right. So yes, it is. But what I will say is this, I can't explain it. There's a sigh of relief when you decide that enough is enough, and you are enough. And I'm going to work on me in whatever capacity that is, your mind, body, spirit, finances. So it feels greater than any fear that I may have or anxiety.
I love that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, you said, every day you walk into your room as your best self. What type of prep does that take in the morning to do that? Because I know every day you don't wake up in that mindset. So, just to people out there, because I know every day I don't wake up in the mindset of like, woo! And then some days I'm like, nah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not today, God, not today.
Right. I'm gonna need a moment.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're, when you're about to go into that room or go into that Zoom or go into that, interview? What type of stuff do you do?
Yeah, or even walking into the bathroom. I'm telling you, I walk in the bathroom and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I have many hacks, I always say hacks because there's not one practice that I can say, but I can share a few. Mindfulness is important. Just being in silence. I haven't perfected the whole yoga, stay still for 2 hours. I haven't done all of that, but what I actually have perfected is stillness and being able to listen to the silence and listen to, for me, I believe in God. So sometimes I'm listening for a word, sometimes there's no word at all, no movement. But silence works for me. Um, Another hack, I just have to do what I have to do. I use YouTube a lot. If sometimes I
Same.
feel right, sometimes I feel a
10
little
minute,
less.
10 minute, 10
You
minute.
got That's right. That's right. That's all. Listen, sometimes it's a little less brown, sometimes it's Jay-Z. I don't know. It depends on what meeting I'm going in, right? So, I might just listen to the Black album and just be like, I got this, whatever, and then sometimes I actually need a Bishop T.D. Jakes to sit there and tell me that I am great and you are this and fight that demon, blah, 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 all that great stuff. And then I'm like, all right, I'm good, because I need that community. If I don't have it from my sister friends at 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to listen to, these leaders who also, they're like us, but those messages are there for us and you can take it. And then sometimes, as you mentioned, I'll be like, God, listen, I love you. I got the faith. I know this is going to happen, but I can't do Bishop T.D. Jakes right now. Like I can't do, right? Like I can't do Eric Thomas right now. Like I'm not feeling all that right now. I'm just going to sit here in silence, and I'm gonna shed a tear, because that'll happen a lot. And that works. So it really depends on how I'm feeling. I'm also a crazy Gemini. So that's why I'm like, this day I could do that. This day I could do this, whatever. As you can tell, I like the signs. But that, just having those strategies and those tools, I say this works for anything that you do, right? Any industry that you're in, there's a toolbox that you use in tech. You got all these different strategies. Same thing for life. You got to know what friends to tap in on. There's some friends that you just can't give this to because they don't understand it, or maybe your partner doesn't understand it. So you do have to rely on a YouTube video, or something that you've seen, a screenshot, so words, whatever it is. I have things written everywhere, all over my house, right? So it depends. But thank you for that question.
And you actually just sparked something in me when you were like, someone around you can't handle that. And I think that actually, just to circle back to what I said earlier about me learning how to be a mom, I learned that I can't be everything for my son. That was a big lesson for me. I can't be everything for him. And where I lack, I need to allow someone else to lead in that space, whether it's,
that's big.
And like my tribe is very important to me. And I noticed that I can't give him all the things that he needs. I can't give him all the things that, and I can't even teach him all the lessons that he needs to learn. And so just learning that, your tribe is really going to come through when you need them to, and to allow them to do that. Some people are like, oh, I don't want my kid around these people. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. They might teach them something in a different way that you had no idea. Or something that you could never expose them to. So that just popped in my head when you said that, because you could take it from that perspective as well. It's just allowing, and how your daughter is kind of going through that now. She's building her tribe and she's speaking to the people that she feels understand her right now.
Right. She wants to be my girlfriend. I have to put that out there. Like, she thinks we're sister friends, and I didn't raise her that way. Like I'm like, I don't care how, like, we're I had her young. So I'm just like, I don't care. We're not going to talk about that. Right. But she's pushing it. So sorry.
Talk to her, Mom. You got to talk. If you don't talk to her, she's going to talk to somebody else.
I know. I listen. Girl, listen. I listen.
No, I get it. That's kind of like that old school mentality. I'm your mother, not your friend. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are raising their kids today as their friends. And it's weird. I'm a bit old school in my practice and the way I operate in my life. And I think that there's certain things that traditions do need to stay in place. Some things, yes, we need to evolve and change, but that there's a fine line between raising your child as your best friend, and then as your child. And there's a lot of people doing that. And I guess we about to see. We about to see what the effects of
What
it
the
is.
product?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
What's the finished
Yeah.
product?
20
Yeah,
years from
we
now.
about to see. No, in a good 5. We about to see.
Oh, true.
We about to see.
That's going to be
Dang.
scary.
So, mhm.
That is funny. Well, Miss Belafonte, I love the conversation and thank you guys so much for all of the sharing. Like, what do you feel like you have learned this year? What have you gained, honey?
You know, I don't think I didn't know, but I know. I know. I know 1000% infinity that I can do nothing without the Lord. I know that I don't want to do anything without Him. I know that nothing is the same if His hand isn't in it. I know that there's confusion in my life if I don't get confirmation, guidance, direction. I know that I'm weak without Him, like so weak. like the person I thought I was. If it's absence of the Lord, nah. I know I've learned that. Yeah, that's it. Like,
Ooh,
Girl.
good thing she went last.
Pretty much, right?
Oh my.
Girl.
but it's like
Way to close it out.
You know what I mean? But you feel like I feel it. I didn't know that was about to happen, but just knowing that I was about to check in to say, to God be the glory.
Mm.
And even when it's not adding up in the way that I want it to add up to, in the moment that I want it to add up in, I know that I still have to push past it because he knows what's best. So I know I've learned and I'm confident that I will no longer do anything, make any decisions, any choices, any steps without His confirmation, His guidance, or his word.
I love
And if it doesn't work out, whatever it is, whether it's a person, a thing, a place, He has come through for me in so many ways and so many times, especially when times that I just felt like I was alone and He was like, I'm with you. But I trust it now. Even if I don't feel Him in the moment, even if I'm like feeling like I'm searching for Him, I'm like, I know He's there. And I know He's going to reveal Himself. And He's done such an amazing job continuing to reveal Himself to me that it is my promise. It was my promise that He would always get the glory. And I have to honor that. And so everything I do when people are like, oh, you're this, you're that. Oh, look at you do blah, blah, blah. To God be the glory. Oh, you're going to be God willing. Oh, you have, thank the Lord.
Right.
That's right. Amen.
Like, because if it takes me being able to allow people to recognize that all that they see in me is because of Him, and then they draw closer to Him, then thank the Lord. You know, like, that's it. That's my duty. That's my duty.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I love that.
This seemed like a very powerful moment for you. So were you outside of this space last year?
No, I have been in this space for some time now. Sorry, I have this call's coming in, going. I have been in this space for some time now, and I understand that when I've tried to think that I could do it without Him, I fall on my face. You know, it's like, I've been here, I prayed, I meditated, I do my and then it's like I'm getting a hang of whatever the blessing is that I want, and then I somehow like draw a pull away from Him, and then things start to go awry, and it's not in sync, and I feel the disconnect in myself. So now my newest challenge has been, and I'm more proud of myself more recently, that I recognize, hey, you're pulling away. Go to him. Even if I feel like I'm not doing what I need to do, even if I feel like I've dropped the ball, even if I feel like I've sinned or I've done something that will bring him shame or he wouldn't be proud of it, I'm like, Lord, can you just forgive me one more time again? Like,
Thank you for that.
And he's like, yeah, come here, girl.
Come
here. And that's the thing. And that's like, dang, his grace, his mercy, like, we never gonna find anyone in the flesh to ever love us, ever love us, ever love us, give unto us, be as merciful, as forgiving, as understanding, accepting. And for me, that's all I need. So,
girl, thank you for that. You know,
Jamie, I feel like you shared something like this earlier in the year too.
Oh my God, that, you know. And
do you remember that? I was on a Queen's Clean show and you shared a similar testimony to hers. That's interesting.
Yeah. And
because Jamie, we in Bible study together. Jamie know the Lord like I know the Lord. We encourage each other.
Y'all gotta include me. Like, what's it? Y'all do a Bible study?
Yeah, we got a Bible study.
Yes, we got a Bible study.
Definitely, yes.
Oh, can I get an invite?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
We'll talk to the people. We'll talk to the people.
Like, our people will call your people.
No.
Okay. In New York, that means you're not gonna call me. No,
oh my God, no.
Girl, no.
And in LA, actually. Like,
no, that just means we'll call in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we want people a part of the ministry. It's all for his glory. It ain't for us. So, but yeah, Jamie know.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. And Queen Cookie, I'm so glad you brought it up because, you know, what I learned this year is so similar to what you said, Tani. It was just like, and it came from the beginning of the year. I had such an aha moment. I think it was either yesterday, the day before yesterday, where I was like, whoa, this thing hit me full circle and I didn't even see it coming. So it's just like, this year, I definitely learned the flow. Like, my biggest challenge has been to flow, to not, you don't even know when you're controlling things, when you're used to taking care of everything and handling it. And you don't even know the grip you have on things. And it's like, when you're holding something like this, the tighter you hold on, you like open your hands, there's nothing there. It's like trying to grasp at air. And so being that I'm a human, that's extremely exhausting. So it's just kind of like having the intention, which started last year, to really meditate a particular way. It's like I'm seeing the snowball effect. To really meditate a particular way, make myself available to me a particular way. I had always claimed that I was about self-care, and y'all will find me in a good bath. I'm not afraid to spend on myself dinners. I'm gonna do, you know, but to take that to the next level where I can become an observer of myself. I can separate myself from the bad habits and the repetition that's not serving me. So it's almost like this year I've had a chance to hover over myself and really look at and examine me, because I'm calm, I'm in a free space, you know, I'm in a space where I can actually flow and honor those things about me, and what means most to me about me and all of these things. So my whole moment was kind of like, yeah, everything's about the flow. I've been finding it real challenging to plan in a particular way, to feel confident about moving forward on things, because I'm very used to having a strategy, a plan, this and that. I like my stuff seamless, you know, not like I have to be a perfectionist, because I'll make the move, but I have to have that sense of like, I'm always catching me in a particular way. And I have to relinquish that. There's nothing about this year that would allow me to hang on to plans in my way. I had to relinquish all of it. So it does go back to my message at the beginning of the year, which my phrase that I got was walk on water. And if you think about that moment where, you know, the boat was going about, the disciples were on the boat, Jesus is downstairs napping, and it's looking like, you know, a tornado outside. So they're freaking out. They wake him from the nap and he's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all tripping off this? Okay, water, relax. Everybody relax. You get out the boat, go walk. Keep your eyes on me, go walk. And when I was thinking about this the other day, because I was standing in my doorway and I was like, I'm afraid to walk. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to get off the boat. I'm afraid to leave the shore. I'm afraid for my feet. What you mean not gonna be on the ground? Like this is the hold up here. I'm afraid. Okay. Like I'm like holding on to your hand like I'm holding the doorway. And that's the message that Tani shared was kind of the same thing. It's like, no, girl, like he's always there. You can walk. Keep your eyes on him and you can get out the boat and you can take a step. Like I even just in my mind's eye envisioned it and was like, okay, let go of the side of the doorway and just walk. Like you can do this, like God's always guiding you. But the difference about how I go about things are now, which is scary, but I trust myself to do it because of the work, is like things come in the moment. We really only have the present. If I am trying to plan and control or make things look at it, the way I'm seeing it is it's so much rooted in the past or so much rooted in needing to be safe and so much rooted when I know I get these things in a feeling, I get them in a moment, and I always get them. Mm-hmm. So why do I have to invite in resistance and make my journey harder? Even with this, I just felt like, because, you know, Cookie, I was in on the thing. I was like, we'll do a Queen's Gleans tonight. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, it was a maybe Keandra, then you. And then it was like, well, she's down, I'm down. And then, you know, when it came to text Tani, I was hesitant. I was like, am I going to do that? Am I going to do it? But I had already heard that. I had already heard Zaynate. It was already a done deal. But I watched myself like try to like do something with it. And I'm like, girl, it's okay. But that's that thing that we're going to keep working on in these moments so that you can walk on water. It's the way I'm going to get there. I'm clear on that. And so that's been the really big thing for me. And I'm so grateful that I've had the space that I prayed for to even be able to do that. I was so busy before. I was so all over the place. I was grateful for where I lived, but I was unhappy there. And, you know, I was like, God, I just need space. I can't hear myself. I can't see myself. I'm losing it, yo. Like I need to connect and it ain't gonna happen here. So all these things happen and it allowed me to move. Now I feel like this is the way I'm supposed to move. This, you know, aside from, you know, you grow up and your parent, I was always the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I do things different. Like I don't listen. I didn't want to go to school. When I was like the black sheep, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be up in here because y'all think I got ADD and I already know what you're gonna say before the sentence is done. I'm not even trying to hear it. Like, can we go talk? Some kick it, laugh. Like I'm trying to kick it. Like that's who, you know. So it's just, you know. So I just spent a lot of time always feeling like, dang, well, maybe I'm not, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. And now it's like, no, I can trust myself in each moment because God never leaves me. This is a walk on water. I've never done this before. I'm not comfortable. And even with some of the stuff I know I'm going to put out, I'm not comfortable, but that's how I know it's like I'm being asked to do something as opposed to me feeling comfortable about a space I've curated and the steps I've made so I can walk out on my ramp. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this ain't a ramp. This is water. Yeah, take a step. You gonna keep your eyes on me, or you gonna, you know, what you gonna do? So
yeah, well, I'm proud of you for not unraveling today, Jamie, because you could have unraveled, and now you look what you've produced. You know, look at this. You have an amazing panel. We all had something to say, whether it was, you know, whether it was what you wanted it to be or not. Like you just have to flow, and I think it's perfect. And I'm glad that you trusted yourself and you didn't call me and cancel because you could have. Because you had that choice. You had that choice, and you know I would have been like, "Okay, girl, it's fine." But I'm glad that you stuck it out.
Girl, I was actually scared to jump in on the call today. I was like, maybe I should be busy. Like
you were available, and like, you know, we're busy. You've had things before where it didn't work, but there was something, and it gave me that confirmation of like, no, these are the moments. This is it. This is the journey. This is the thing. This is the outcome. It's just this now. It's being able to receive and put it out. I'm receiving and put it and staying out the way. I watched myself get in the way.
Stay
I'm
out
looking
the
at
way.
myself like,
that's the prayer, girl.
Doing all that.
That's the prayer. It's not even get out the way. The prayer is like stay out the way.
Stay out the way.
We can get out the way for a second or 2 or 3 or a week, a month, and get back in the way. It's to stay out the way.
This is a lifestyle. This is a new lifestyle. It has to be practiced, and the only way you can practice is by acknowledging what it is that you're seeing and where the disconnect is. And it's just like, to have had this year to do all of that work. This self-work is work. This is
every day. What's that meme, Jamie? What is that meme? Remember, it was probably last year. I think it was like a reel, right? And there was a girl, I think she goes, I woke up, I prayed, I meditated, I exercised, I ate well, I did my green juice, I journaled, I got my work in, and it was like, wait a second, I got to do this.
I got to do this tomorrow. Yo, like that's too many things on the list. I'm exhausted.
Too many every day.
Every day. But the Bible says, right? Renew the mind, renew the spirit every single day, because I know for sure I can be in this moment. I'm getting all this energy from you amazing women and feel like, yes, I'm juiced up. I can go, and then go to sleep, wake up and be like, let me sleep for 20 more minutes, covers over my head. I'll snooze for another 45 or whatever. And it's like that energy that you had just a few hours prior has dissipated.
But that's okay. That's like, to me, that's the part of the beauty of things I'm learning to accept, because it's the past. So this moment that we're eating on, what it's going to culminate to, or roll, the butterfly effect, whatever kind of energy it's going to roll into. It's already happening. It's already done. It's already there. And so what I'm trying to do, like you said, it's the stay out of the way, because we wake up sometimes and don't be here for it. But are those just the days where we can utilize other tools in our box and say, like, I know you don't feel like it today, girl. And maybe you don't journal, work out, and whatever, but you will have tea, go take some deep breaths and get some sun. And then if you need to sit back down and listen to some Abraham Hicks or Sarah Jakes or whoever's going to tickle your fancy, start there. Because what we are going to do is we're going to turn this boat around, because we know that's what we need to do to make this day and this moment good. And, just trying to be cognizant of knowing we have that power. It's not always easy. And that doesn't mean you're going to turn around and be like, that's right, I'm happy now. But it's still just like, even if you have to climb a little bit, then maybe that's just what it is for the day. We don't have to feel guilty about not being on the high of yesterday's horse or whatever, Out here trying, out here making it work.
Y'all are giving, this isn't, no, seriously, I didn't know it was going to go here. I'm like so deep in my God loving, life right now. And I have always been, and I didn't expect to come on tonight and get this. Wow. Thank you. Wow.
Look, God has always got to be in the middle, right?
I love it though. I'm just because I get this, walking on water and just having the grace, and because okay, wow, thank you. This is something else. This is like a revelation, because I've been thinking a lot today. So to end my my night like this is beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amen.
No, I love it. What'd you say?
I said, see, Jamie, look what you did.
I know, I'm so good. We all made a conscious effort to show up.
But it started in your brain.
It did. Thank you, girl.
Give yourself credit.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll take some credit. No, that's important. And I'm going to continue. This was nerve-wracking. You guys, we are so brave, the stuff that we're doing. I mean, Tani, you were just on a few national television shows, movies. I want you to talk about that. Zaneta, you was just shining in a magazine. Cookie, you always got to pop in with these wonderful things. You're buying cars and all. So let's start with Tani, just real quick, like almost like a praise report. Like, tell us a little bit about the fruit you've yielded and how it's like, added to your shine.
That's what I'm talking about. God just be showing up. So actually 1 year ago, 6 days ago, because I'm like looking at the time and the clock. 1 year ago, 10 days ago, I was going to leave the acting world. And I had given myself 4 years prior. My 4 years were up. And I'm like, all right, well, doesn't look like this thing is really working for me. I'm getting older. I don't really see much progress. So let me just go ahead and bow out. Thank you, Lord. And yeah. And so I said, if I didn't see like a certain level of an uptick in my career, that I would just leave, that this could not be for me and still struggling the way I'm struggling in this business. 4 years came due, which was my birthday, October 13th. And I reflected and realized that, you know what, the auditions have been better. The roles that's been coming in, more guest stars, more series regulars. So no more like just like one-liner co-star stuff. So I said, okay, it's not exactly what I wanted to see, but it's better. So let me just, I'll just finish the year out. That was really, I was like, I'll finish the year out. My mom chewed me a new one, just asking me what I was doing with my life and what, if I was going to change my career. And I said, all right, I'll just finish the year out and that'd be that. And a year ago, 10 days ago, I got a phone call from my agent and I hadn't even auditioned, and Law and Order called and they wanted me for a job. And I was like, oh, me? Wait, they might have made a mistake. Like, it's like funny how we think when our number is called.
Didn't even audition.
Didn't even audition. And it's so funny how when our number is called, sometimes we really think like they made a mistake somehow. They called the wrong person. Like, they don't call the wrong person. You know what I mean? And I went and filmed Law and Order. Thank God. Then that was November, December, January, quiet. End of January, booked something else that hasn't aired yet, so I can't say. And February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, Lord, wait a second. You done told me to stay. You made me unpack my bags. We 6 months later. I haven't seen a booking. We 7 months. What you said? Did I mistake what you told me? So I was starting to get a little nervous. And then I booked 911 on Fox, Angela Bassett's 911. Thank you. Yes, it was amazing. And then about a month later, actually, about a month-ish later, I book FBI International and get flown out to Budapest. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Go off.
Can you take a friend?
Go off.
That's right. And my acting coach, what's funny is that my acting coach says, so we're going to stop testing God now? And I said, all right. I said, okay. Yeah. I said, yeah, we're going to stop, second guessing him and thinking he made a mistake and he forgot, the blessing that he told me. Yeah. So I'm coming off of 3 national amazing network shows this year alone. And I have one in the pocket that's going to air next year at some point. And I'm actually still praying for a miracle to book 1 or 2 more before the end of the year because it's possible.
Yeah,
why not?
So yeah, thank you.
Yes, that's so bomb.
Congratulations.
Yes,
wow.
Congratulations, girl.
I'm like cheesing over here, like I gotta check. I'm like,
but it's a we thing. That's why the sisterhood is so important because, and Tani, so you always remind me of that too. Like when I win, no, you win. When she wins, we're winning. Like it's a we thing. It is collective, whether it's just energetically or you just never, we just don't know. Just like you was ready to make your plans. Oh, I'm cutting off at this date. God is like, you don't have to even go in the room, boo. Your name is in rooms. Like you don't even sit.
Could you, Jamie, imagine? I wouldn't have made it to Budapest. I wouldn't have went to Budapest if I would have said on my fruition, on my volition, I should say.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And that's why I say what I say. I don't do anything without his confirmation.
You gotta relax.
Because if I would have missed all of this.
Block your blessing.
Budapest was.
It looks so beautiful.
It was beyond me. It was one of those things that you don't even know you needed or you would even appreciate or love. It was just beautiful, first class, you know what I mean? Getting picked up, like all the things. And I was like, wow, it wasn't even a year to the day. And I'm in Budapest.
And you know what
So-
that reminds me of too is we hear so much, and I always say this about our feminine energy and being feminine. To me, this is it right here. It ain't about having to like curtsy and, you know, speak like this and not do. When we can relax and let God do his part and just show up to receive. We've been taught that receiving is like, not if you don't do something, you got to earn it. You got to put in if you want to get back. And it's like, actually, God shows me all the time. Like I said, you didn't even have to audition. There's things that I've got, like blessings that come out of nowhere because I'm being spoken about because of who I am, who he put me on somebody's ear, somebody's heart. That it like he's moving behind the scenes. I'm up here thinking I'm lazy because I slept in one doggone day. Like, can a girl get some sleep? And he's like, you knocked out, and I'm making all the relax, so you can relax.
Mm-hmm.
I got questions. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is so, oh man, I'm about to cry. This is deep. So, I mean, what did, for all of you, like when you feel this, I hear you saying like, I listen to God, or I, you know, just let God work. What does that mean? What does that look like for you? So I'll tell you what I'm struggling with since we already went here. At least in my mind, I'm like, oh, we went here. For me,
We there. Yeah.
Right. I keep on, I don't believe in questioning. Like, I don't question God. I would never go, why did you do that? Like, ever since I was younger. But
I do.
I do too.
Really?
I got questions, but that's all, you know.
I
And not
don't.
in like a bad way, but I'm like, but
I
why?
need to know
Like-
why. Yeah, like
Right,
help me so I
right.
can. But that's a whole
Yeah.
other thing. Not like
I was
questioning like you did that wrong, but like why?
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
Exactly.
A soft why.
Yeah, like I'm just curious. Like help me, help you. Like I'm not done trying. What is happening?
much.
What do you need me to see?
Well, I will tell you, I have, in all of my years, I've never done that. I think it was more of a fear of God. Like, who the heck am I to even question? But here lately, I get emotional about it because I actually did, because I literally was like, what the hell's going on right now in my life? I'm too old for this. I'm in this second act of my life, right? You know, I got a 22-year-old, 16-year-old, 8-year-old. Besides the 8-year-old, I'm like, these kids are almost out the door. They're going to be living their lives. And then there's me. And I have to be happy with me. And I have to know who I am. And I've been raising kids for years that I'm just like, I don't, you know, I could say at this point, I know who I am now, but that took some years. But on the business side, and this goes back to, you know, a question that came up earlier, I am now like, I can't, I speak like I'm 78 years old or something, but I'm just like, I'm in this new second act, and I don't have time for this to fail. Right. And I feel like I'm talking to God as if I'm like, not you owe me, but that's how I'm talking. And I don't like it. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry, God. I'm so sorry. So I'm curious, like this let go and let God thing that I'm hearing, this theme coming up in the conversation. What does that actually look like in practice? Like, is that I'm just going to continue praying or reading the Bible and Bible study or whatever. And I'm not even going to project all these things that I'm manifesting in the real world. And I'm just going to let God do his thing. And if that's the answer, how the heck do y'all do that?
I mean, I have my answer. I know, Tani, you got some example, you know, like.
Yes, I will go on mute because I want to hear all this.
Okay, so one thing that we are all innately born with, and the beauty of God and his perfection in his creation, is the gift of intuition, right? And it goes back to what Jamie said in terms of like trusting yourself. We often know what we should be doing, but we just don't do it. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a matter of tapping into self in that way. And when you can when you can think back about like your quote unquote wrong choices, right? A choice that you made that you knew in the moment you probably should have made it, but you did it anyway. And then it resulted in this thing that wasn't what you wanted it to be. You remember that voice, you remember that thing, you remember that feeling. It comes back up all the time. It's with us every single day. And for me, it's a matter of tapping into that, right? Then I couple it with prayer and say, okay, Lord, this is this thing. Particularly for me, it's really good with men. It's always, okay, Lord, there's this guy. I think I'm interested in him. show me whether or not I should continue to spend my energy toward getting to know him on a romantic level, or not. And what will happen is that this man will display a behavior that I may have otherwise overlooked or given a pass to, or, oh, he didn't mean it like that, or it's not that serious, or whatever the excuse I give it to be. And when I couple it with prayer and he reveals this character flaw or characteristic trait, I'm like, yeah, I can't ignore it. Because again, I think back to the time that I did and what it resulted in. So it's like removing the rose covered glasses, right? And seeing the person as they are and being like, okay, I prayed about this not even 20 minutes ago, and this is what you pull. I gotta listen. And when I do, he disappeared. Like it just ends up being not. You know what I mean? Whereas I would have given him a chance because we're all
Drag
human.
it out.
And yeah, we all deserve opportunity to make it right. He doesn't know me. He doesn't understand. And it's like, listen, sis, a person is a person is a person, and they're going to be who they are. You know what I mean? And it sucks and it's scary because it's so much easier to just go along with it. It's so much easier to give that man a pass because it's like, now I have his company. I have his attention. Somebody's calling my phone. I'm not going to be alone on Friday night. But trust and believe this. I don't have the emotional capacity anymore for half steppers. And I would rather be alone and crying myself to sleep at night, wondering where my partner is, than having somebody that is on my line that's not treating me accordingly, behaving the way I need to, and making me feel worse. Just even when we talk about my acting career and wanting to quit, and God being like, wait, here, here's a bone. Sit down, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? He delivers, and it's okay. Zanada, sorry. It's okay to be like, you owe me this, because he says to ask and be bold in your ask. He says to challenge him. He says to give him the challenge of the biggest thing that feels like it could never be done. He says, give it to me and let me show you. So it's all right to be like, all right, Lord, well, you told me that I was going to be able to make $500,000 in 4 months. Let me see it. And obviously you can't sit on your hands and expect it to be done.
That works.
Show up, right? You do your part and he will do the supernatural. Because God works, like miracles happen every single second of every single day. We think miracles are like this far, few, and in between thing. And it's like, nah, miracles are happening all the time around us. We just have to tap into the miracles and believe and feel that it's going to happen. Look at this.
Feeling is believing. Come on, Button.
Look at, she had it ready.
Right?
Come on, Button.
Yeah. My reminder, because in order for it to be,
yes, in
order for it to be, we have to feel it, because our feelings, feelings is a tricky thing. And Jimmy, I'm not going to be long-winded about it, but feelings is tricky because it's like, you can't allow it to like govern you to the point of no return, and you can't allow it to rule you where it's like you just do erratic things. But then it's like a balance of like tapping into it, understanding that this person makes me feel this thing that makes me feel uncomfortable, or this person makes me feel amazing, so our feelings are attached to his calling, his blessings, our direction. And again, it's just continuing to just get in silence with self. You continue to learn yourself. You continue to trust your choices, even if you make a choice and you don't see the result of it immediately or know that it's the right choice. But you'll eventually, like Jamie says, I'll be asking like, why? Eventually he'll reveal why it went the way it went. And you're like, dang, I'm so grateful I didn't, make a left and I made a right. I'm so grateful. So
I love that. I love the way you said
Thank you.
feel, man, because it's always there. That's the thing. Everything's there. we invite such resistance in by wanting things to be our way. That's been the biggest thing, getting out of my way and, you know, honoring my feelings. Our feelings are such a navigator. Like, yes, you have to know yourself to know when you're hungry and need a nap or might be menstrual. That's a whole other thing. However, you know, things are magnified in that time. So it's worth it to pay attention. But we discredit ourselves way too much. And I tweeted the other day, like, I want us to trust ourselves, to trust our intuition. That's where the problem is. Everything, because even something I'll get into and I'll have those moments that I know I shouldn't have, or, you know, I had a pause and I didn't check into it. When I look in retrospect, I had all the answers. I was very clear. I was clear. I was playing with myself because then I want to go and do all of these weird things that I'm conditioned doing because I'm protecting myself or saving myself or trying to, it's, you know, when it comes to men, I'll get impatient and be like, well, if I got to wait, I might as well wait
Enjoy
with a little
this.
company. Yeah, let me just, you know, and derailing myself and acting a fool. So it's just like, you know, I always know. And it's just, it's been more worth it to honor myself, honor my feelings, and play my part. It's my part to change my attitude. When I'm feeling some kind of way, it's my part. Go sit down somewhere, take a deep breath, and figure that out for a sec. Like, put my own self on timeout because I know that means I'm out of alignment somewhere. My true nature is joy. So, what is it that you're doing? Separating the way I feel when I feel great and in the pocket and being able to look at the resistance has helped me see myself from the outside and nip it in the bud. And the more you get used to doing that, the messaging comes in so clear. I'm so grateful and so excited. And God has never left me. He's always there. So what am I tripping off of? And it's okay to be scared. So now you know to pray for courage. This doesn't mean don't do the project. This means I'm going to tell you, God, I'm so scared. Like, I need the courage just get me over the hump, you know, and, you know, knowing that. So it's just that inner knowing and that listening and your feelings and getting out the way as much as possible. And it's a bunch of different modalities. Like right now, I'm Abraham Hicks in the morning. Another season, I'm Sarah Jakes in the morning. Another season, I'm Joe Dispenza, and I'm sitting up there trying to take myself to another land, okay, while I'm sitting on my yoga mat. Like, so it's whatever I need to just keep going. And, you know, back to what I was saying, that's why this year was so important, because I got quiet enough to learn what that is. And now I believe stuff is going to come in without all of this wild effort from me, because it's not me. This isn't about me. I'm only aligning myself to the stuff that God put in my spirit. Like, I see that for me, and I know that vision is there because it's mine. So relax. Relax.
Nothing comes to an anxious person. The more anxious we are, the more we repel.
Got it.
Yeah, for sure. I think they both kind of hit it on the nail, but I'll just add my little 2 cents. I think for me, just like Miss Belafonte said, it's that intuition, and how I know that I'm flowing is when it feels good for me too. And when I know, one, I think a gem that I always steal from Jamie earlier in one of our shows was, you feel the nudge. You know, it's an internal little like when you know you're not in alignment, and you know you're not on the path that God sent you on, or you know that that's not where you feel it in your entire soul and in your entire being. And it's just like when your parents tell you not to do something and you do it anyways, and you feel that it's an actual feeling inside of you. And you know, that's where your consciousness sort of comes in, little devil, little angel, you know, and you know it's right, you know it's wrong. Also for me too, I know, you know, you guys touch on it too about asking him and challenging him. I just wanted to add, be specific, only because I've prayed for things and they've come and I was like, oh, but that wasn't
where's the rest of it? Yeah, like, oh, this one, yeah.
And he's like, but that's what you said. And I was like, oh man, like, no.
Like, dang, I should have asked for 100 instead of just 50.
Yeah, like, there's a little more to that one. Hold on.
I'm like, oh God, let me pray for some money. He's gonna be $20. I'm like, God,
it's money though.
$20, but thank you. Right. So
It's
that
true.
was the one thing I wanted to say, is be specific as possible. And you know, and not that he's gonna hit it, but he's gonna hit it. He's gonna meet you. He's gonna meet you, and he's gonna align you where you need to be. But that's a big lesson that I learned, is being specific in my asks. And and also doing the work too, because like I said earlier, faith without works is dead, and so you can't ask for something and just sit on your butt, like you can't. But also, like Jamie said, you don't have to work super hard. You don't.
Those days are. Do you understand?
You don't have to work super hard. I'm in that space too. Like you don't have to
I
work
need help
super
in that
hard.
space.
Yeah,
Work
it
is smart. Mm-hmm.
You do not have to work hard.
I saw this meme, I think the other day. They were saying, hard work, when people who work hard, that's trauma response, so it's something that you kind of got to get to the bottom of, and why you feel the need to have to work so hard. And it's in everybody. And I think of women, Black women, single moms, we feel that pressure to have to always be the best, because we're
you're not about
seen.
to tell me
we're
not
not
nothing.
Seen. Right, exactly. You're not seen all the time, and so you feel like you have to overperform. I feel like I'm at my masculine all the time as a Black woman, because I have to be, and I'm like, no, but I just want to be soft, and and I'm like, but I just no, I know, and I'm learning that, but yeah, and I have my little signs. I've asked and I've confirmed like what my actual sign is that I pray for, and I know when it comes. And so I always tell people, ask God to give you a sign and tell him that that's the sign you want every time when you want confirmation for something. And I promise you, it'll come. And so, it just be specific. That was the one thing that I just wanted to add.
And when it comes, trust it.
Yeah,
and trying to put your brain on it.
Be thankful, acknowledge it. Like when I feel a sign or when something comes, I'm like, oh, I'm like, look at you over here showing out.
Right, like you better stop.
Yeah, and like I do that because I want to let him know, like I see you, because I used to ignore it. I used to pray for something, and then it would kind of be like, yeah, okay, what's next? It was kind of like chauvinistic, like, oh, like, yeah, whatever. Give me some more blessings. And like I really had to really be thankful for every blessing that was coming and say, this is what I want. I want more. So I'm thankful. I want more, and putting that energy out. Like I want more of this. Yes, this is what I want. Please, thank you. I love you. Thank you. This is what I want. So yeah.
And knowing that God wants more for you too. He didn't send us down here to struggle and be paupers. He wants us to have more. So I try to keep that in mind too. Like Jamie, the things you're praying for, like he wants that for you too. So let me just stay tapped into that. Buy the shoes. Because guess what? More money's coming in. It is. I spend money with joy. Okay. Yes. And somehow it just keeps showing up. I never, this is man. I don't even understand.
It's good. Yeah, it's so good to like reflect in order to strengthen yourself as you move forward. They say like you only look back to see how far you've come. Remember those days. Man, listen, I'm an artist. Like I remember it be the 30th of the month. There is 10 cents in the bank account and the rent is due. Well, let me tell you something. I've been in my apartment for 14 years. I was never late on my rent until 1 month last year for COVID. I tell you, I literally would have 10. This is not a lie. 10 cents. Rent is due. It's the 30th. But I never sweated it. I was like, okay.
I had to learn not to sweat it.
By the first to the fifth.
I panic a little bit.
Because what can you do? You can't control everything.
No, I know you can't control, but I still panic a little bit.
No, but and it's like, and then
wait a minute.
But then when you panic, you realize it's like, dang, I just wasted.
What is this energy doing?
Yeah, no.
I not trusting him.
Yeah, but
you see what I'm saying?
How do you find that non-panic? Like, because I'm.
But then that's when you go back to the reflection, right? And you say, well, he literally has come through for me 10 out of 10.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't he come through? And my mom told me this a while ago, my early 20s, I remember, and she said, he didn't bring you this far to leave you now, so
don't die on the shore. You know, swim the whole ocean and you gonna drown.
You in the middle of it. He's gonna send a boat. You'll be fine. You'll survive another day. 10 cents in the bank account, and my rent is still not late. Houseway.
And you know what? the detachment too has helped me with that, because if something's going too funky and it just ain't working out, maybe it's time for it to go. And that still has always yielded something better. And sometimes it's hard for us to see it that way. But like you said, looking in the past, holding on to that, knowing, and, you know, being a little bit detached from the outcome. Like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm showing up. I'm listening I have to take my hands off the wheel because I don't have enough to, you know, I had to stop freaking out over that stuff. I used to be the worst, y'all. Something would happen. Your girl was out for a week.
Yeah.
Just I don't care what it was. I was like, why me, Lord? I mean, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So I had to learn, like, I had to lose things. I had to go through, and none of it was bad. When I look in retrospect, it's perfect. Even though during the time I wanted to make such a big fuss and be a drama queen about it all, it always worked out. And I always had what I needed, no matter what it looked like. I got so many stories and so much stuff that went on, and I was still just caught, like, because we lived artist life for a long time too. Like, this gets nuts. I have been on a ride. We still here.
I'm super excited, Z, to hear your testimony from, like, receiving all of this. And, like, I want you to check in with Jay and let her know how God shows up in tomorrow, like, for you, because this is all for him. And so he wanted you to hear this to draw closer and trust him some more. So I'm super excited for your testimony. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is something else because I've been struggling. So this is
Zenaida.
Wow,
letting
that's
go.
so insane. You seem so,
don't she?
I mean, no, on Instagram, on social media.
No, I'm right.
You would never think.
Yeah, no, my spirituality. Yeah, this side.
Yeah,
you know what?
You hold it very well.
I do, and that's the problem, right?
That's not even a compliment. Saying, oh, you hold it very well, but like
no, but you know, I feel like, you know, as I said, I've been a mom for a really long time, and I've always lived in the struggle for a really long time. That when my coaching session ended, but one of my coaches had said to me, like, you're just so used to grinding and succeeding or not, and just like constantly going. So you don't celebrate yourself. You literally celebrate everyone else. You do all this work and you're great. And yeah, like who I may be, right? But I'm still struggling internally with this promise that, you know, I don't know. It's just like, you know, even with the Black Women's Business Collective, I'm literally struggling. Everyone's like, oh, it's so great. And you got in a magazine and you're great. And I'm like, it is great, but I feel like I'm fighting a battle that no one cares about. And it's really eating me up. And I'm just like, God, let this go or something. Like, what, you know, I'm literally like, why do you keep on putting this and then bringing more Black women who are super dope around me? So I could, like, the community's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm just like, but God, this ain't working the way I want it to work out. But you know, so that everything else is great. Is just really just struggling with making decisions on what it is that I'm doing, because, and I think it is a stoic type of view. My own death is just really eating at me to the point where I'm just like, I have these lives that I think I own, but I really don't, because they're individuals, they're my kids. And I'm just like, I can't leave this world until they are financially set and good. And it's like pressuring me. So that is literally driving everything. So this idea of just letting go, I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means not to struggle, even when I'm not really struggling. So like, I have a home. Like, I have a home. The bills are paid. The kids are good. I'm breathing. I'm not sick. No one's been sick throughout this whole pandemic. And I'm like, I don't know what that means to not struggle. So I'm sitting in this space where I'm looking for, I heard the trauma response. Like, I'm looking for some crap to hit.
To happen. Look at that.
Right. And then when it does, I'm like Jamie. I'm like, oh my God. You know, and I'm driving my family insane. Right. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, I'm actually like literally, even, the Entrepreneur Magazine thing was just, I still haven't really like settled, like sat on that. I was just like, okay, it happened.
Yeah,
was
you did it.
great.
You did
Oh my
it.
God.
You're
But if you
addicted
ask
to
me, I'm
that.
over
You're
here
addicted
like,
to that feeling. That's that
an
feeling, the
addiction.
feeling of like I have to be, and when it's not, I don't know how to be still and just accept and relax, and just like I just mentioned, I don't want to be soft, like I can, and I don't even trust myself to do that, you know. And same, I'm trying to tell you, like, it's okay, just relax, just be in that space and be in that freedom. And I feel like even with your business, and he's putting all the pieces in front of you, girl. They're there.
They're there.
You just got to move.
Do you have a morning routine?
I do. It's a little
What's your morning
flexible.
routine like?
Well, it changes. So Monday and Friday, because I work out a lot. So Monday and Friday is literally
Gang,
just
gang.
some silence. Oh yeah, I don't play. I don't play on at least. I work out almost every day, but Monday and Friday is intense. I get up, I do the silence thing because at this point, by Friday I just can't even think. But I do silent meditation, and then I go to the gym about 2.5 hours. I come back. I do the self-care
You
thing,
go to the gym for
shower.
2.5 hours. What you
Yeah,
training for? A
they
marathon?
come. Where's my things? They coming. No, I just want to be real. I want like, yeah, I want to be extremely strong. Like that's where,
Dang, girl, 2.5 hours in the
yeah,
gym? You really about to be like
it's
somebody's
insane.
bodybuilder.
There are two classes that I take. One is just like hit, and the other one is this another hit, crazy, whatever. I want muscles and all that other stuff. So it takes a lot of gym time and at home workout stuff. But either way, I do that, come home, shower, whatever. I do a little bit of work for my business, and then I head out. My daughter actually, I live upstate New York now. We moved from New York City, but my daughter still goes to school in New York City. So I drive to the city every day. So there's a lot of sitting in my car and meditating on what I'm doing with my life. And so, I mean, that as far as a morning practice is just really just sitting in silence. That's what I've had to do here lately because there's
And
too
how
many
long do you
voices.
do that? The sitting in silence, how long is that?
Ooh, it could be an hour easy, but it depends on what's weighing on me. I forgot who said, when something's pressuring, Jamie, I think you said it, when something is like you need to pivot or you need to just stop doing something, your body will tell you, the intuition will tell you. And just like yesterday, I am literally, I got up at 1:30 in the morning. I haven't been asleep yet. And it was because something has been weighing on me. It's a lot of work that I'm bearing. Again, everything's going well in certain areas, but I'm just like, I don't really need to do this, right? Like the blessings are coming and I don't need to start creating more. And I find myself, okay, what new level can I make? Oh, let's start a membership. Let's do this. And I'm like, I can't handle all this right now. I'm just like,
Girl, you sound like a
girl.
version of me that I used to be. And I'm not going to act like I'm all out of the woods, but I mean, being that we have the same birthday and all, I just kind of feel like I can understand from a certain standpoint. And when I was like that, I had to ask myself, why do I feel like I need to do the work like this? Like there was one point where, I understood that my work made me feel validated. It made me feel like it was the only thing in my control. I'm very smart. I've always been ahead of the class. I was a third grader reading to the fifth graders, skipping. They asked me to skip a grade. Like I've always been, and so, but me having that desire to weigh on it so I can for somehow change that into value, me feeling worthy, me feeling value for myself. So, that was part of survival mode that I had to get rid of. Like I had to tell myself, if I sit here in my drawers in a paper bag for the rest of the day, like I'm still worthy. Something could still come from me. Something could still make my way. And when I think and say like that, I'll get some stupid little settlement from what do you call those class action lawsuits? Or I'll just get something that's like, did I just make $80 today? Did I did $434? Oh, I got residual checks coming 2,000 when I closed my mouth and stopped putting all the friction in the air. So, and I asked myself that, and then I don't know how you are, but I can be an overthinker. Like I've been my worst enemy most of the times. I have been very mean to myself. Like you're not enough. You're not doing enough. Like, see, this is why stuff I would never treat somebody else like that. But here I am beating myself up while I go online and everybody's like, you're doing so great. You've done all these things. You've helped me so much. And I can't see anything but the fact that I'm fucking up. Like, I don't feel this is not enough, you know? But it's like all of the days, all of the projects, all of the moments, like the journey is the thing. So I just had to release the pressure. And if I catch myself saying that, I told you this year, it feels like I've been hovering over myself, like I'm the observer. I don't talk to myself like that anymore, and I'm not going to. That is a decision. I'm warring against the part of me that's going to die today because it doesn't work and it's not nice and it's not serving me or any of my projects at all. And I can't believe the less that I do, the more it gets done. You could have never sold me that. But I had to knock that crazy chick out the way. And again, there's residue. I keep sweeping pieces of her out the corners, but it's not taking control over my life where I just cannot enjoy myself or my life or the fruits of what I am doing because it's not this, I get, you know, so I just, you know, there was one small part I wanted to share about survival, and this was a small part of it. But like, for example, the way I was raised, because I was the oldest child and I was very independent, you know, they, not like they left me alone, but it was always like, she's good, you know? So there were times in my adult life where things got hard. And my middle sister has like, she's been an alcoholic. She's been in and out of homes, like a drugs addictions, all this stuff. So I'd watch my dad pick her up, spend money on court. I'm like, you doing all this? Like, I'm struggling with my rent this month. I know y'all think, but it's, you know, and if I ask, I don't get it. If I freak out, my dad will cut the check. So I realized, oh, so you up here thinking you got to be dramatic to what, God? You think if I cry to God the same way I got to freak out to my dad to even get something? Or do I have to respond to life this way that is so dramatic because that's the only way I can get, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I had to just pick apart a lot of those little things to clean up my own energy and my own talk to myself because it was really all me. You know.
No, thank you for that. That's exactly what it is. For me, like it's just me in my head, and I need to get out of that.
That little, you would never let somebody sit on your couch and run their mouth like that. You gotta go. Get out, girl.
And you wouldn't talk to them again.
No,
right.
You can't come
over. Talk to them again. Do you have you ever heard of morning pages?
I have.
So that was a game changer for me. Basically, it's like when you first wake up in the morning and you try to write about 3 pages of just like whatever. It's not streamlined. It don't have to make sense. No one's gonna read it. It's not to be, you know, displayed anywhere. But it's just like it's almost like a way to free your mind. You know, and you literally just write. You just write whatever comes up, and then it's from this book and course called The Artist's Way.
Yes.
And yeah, so you're familiar with The Artist's Way. And
Julia
then
something, right?
Yes.
Cameron.
Yes. I think that's her name. And what you're supposed to do is every so often go back, like I guess every week or so, and go back and read it and see what your blurts are, like what are your constant
that's good
commonalities that you're writing every day, whether it's like I suck or I'm worried or I'm anxious or nobody loves it, like whatever that is. And then that way you can then extract it and deal with it in your silent time. So now in your silent time, you're not just being silent, but you're also working on the little parts that need addressing in order to heal, to then move forward, you know?
I call that untying the knots. I got to untie all the knots in my brain.
Untie the knots. So that could be something you can add to your morning. And in your silence, giving gratitude, prayer, and you're meditating, right? Because they say praying is when you talk to God and then meditating is when he speaks back. So we got to remember, we got to take space for listening and being unapologetic in like your ask.
So
there's nothing he can't do. Nothing he can't do. There's nothing too big to ask. He's just waiting for you
to I need clarity. That's what I need to ask for clarity. That's the thing. I don't ask.
And then when I be asking for clarity too, I also ask that I stay out the way because we be trying to figure everything out. Like, give me your clarity and let me accept that at face value without trying to put Jamie and my little hands in it.
And then be willing to be obedient when he
Obedience.
responds, because he will respond. We know he responds, and then we be like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yo, we do it all the time.
I'm not doing that.
We do it all
That's
the
a lot of
time.
work.
Like, I don't like that way.
That
I don't
does
like
not
that
work.
way.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to go that way.
Yeah, I don't wanna
Just
do that.
That's funny.
being
Not that, Lord.
obedient. Yeah, you ain't mean that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different
that's-
option.
What's that? I heard? No.
Yeah, so those are really good morning pages with your prayer and your
the book, and I think you read this book too, Tawny, but The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Oh,
That is my favorite
that.
book.
It's one
So
of my favorite
I've never
books.
read that book, but I was
Okay,
going to suggest
yes.
another book, which is The Power of Now.
Oh yes,
You
I know
talk
that book as
about-
well.
You read it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. The
and
Power
so
of Now is, who is this?
Eckhart Tolle.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And it talked like, so a lot of times when you're in the car and you're like thinking about all the 10,000, girl, you in the car.
Be here in the car.
We in the
I
car.
know you had an experience like that driving to work.
No, it's so, I have a marker in my route because I know my brain goes crazy. And so on my route to work, I have a couple of markers that bring me back to self and present because I know I space. I'm going to try and start doing it in my house too, and having certain markers for myself because I'm very distracted. And so I would notice sometimes I would be on autopilot to work. I would get to work and I'd be like, did I just drive here? You know, like, did I just drive here?
Wow.
And it was like frustrating for me because I'm like, this is a 45-minute drive and I don't even know how I got here. You know, like, I don't even know how, serious, I don't even know how I got here.
That's so real.
And so I have these certain markers on my route and I have to literally say, like, come back, come back. And it's real out here in these streets. Like, I have to tell myself to come back to myself because I float like I do.
Because it's almost like really nervous to like be present.
Right.
Like, ain't I supposed to be doing something?
You're right.
Right.
I should
my
be
list.
thinking about something.
I'm doing my checklist in my head at all times. Yeah.
We have so many things we want to do, and it's so unnerving to be present, to feel the breeze on your skin,
Yes.
to hear that distant hum of the fridge. You know, like, but that's all being present. Nothing can happen if we're not in the present.
Right. That's all we have.
And I like how you said unnerving because it is a nervous system thing. We get addicted to overachieving, being ambitious, being the person who can that is a feeling. That is a nervous system feeling that is in all of our veins in our brain, and it's all connected. And we get addicted to like thinking we're doing things right and being on the go, and I'm always on top of it and thinking, and I can multitask and I can do all these things. That is trauma.
And what am I gonna post on the gram?
Yeah, like with everything else. Like, it's just, we get addicted and don't even know. It's that is not it. Ooh, I'm so grateful for this downtime. This downtime showed me, girl, because I was
so sleepless.
Girl, the name of my first business was Sleepless because y'all already know. I was just so, that was passion and vision and all these things. But I also look back and I'm like, oh God, girl, if I knew what I knew now, I wonder if things would have turned out differently. There was a lot I needed to learn, but so many lessons with that.
Are you serious with the business name? It was named Sleepless?
Sleepless, Dream Now, Sleep Later. It was my influencer
you were in that
company.
crew. Okay.
Dream Now, Sleep Later. Yes, girl.
Okay.
Had a whole network going. It was popping. It was amazing. That was an era, quite an era.
So what Jamie, what was that book you mentioned? Untethered Soul?
The Untethered Soul, because what it really does is give you a perspective and teaches you how to be the observer. To me, this is something we're not necessarily taught. But like I said, if you think about next time, especially Zenaida, when you're sitting there and that voice is hitting you, it makes your stomach feel some kind of way. It makes you nervous. You're not breathing. Watch your chest that you ain't breathing. Nothing's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's when I picture that being like a little homie sitting on the couch. And he talks about how this person's sitting there this is how they talk to you, right? You go on a date with somebody. It's a great date. They say, I'll call you when I get home. Maybe they don't call when they get home, whatever. By the next day, that little person on the couch is like, see, that's why this person's that, and you got this, and but then they call you the next day, like, oh my God, you won't believe what happened. There was this, there was that, or whatever the case. Let me make it up to you, and they do everything right. Now the same person on the couch is like, oh, they're so great. I can't wait for the day. If you don't get your psychopathic self out of here, you always got something to say. Get out. Like, I had to get out. It's not you. The voice in your head that you're hearing is not you. You are the hearer of the voice. So that means you have control over turning the volume down. Yep. And your life will change. Like, again, I'm not going to act like I done came out the woods with it, but I've come a very long way. I'm a different person.
That book made me cry, that first chapter. I think the voice
is you, though. I think the voice is a part of you. It's your ego side. It's the side of you, your shadow side sometimes is talking to you. And it's for you to decipher, like, which you want to be. I feel like the little voice inside your head is always you. And, you know, you really just have to, that's your internal navigation system. Does it always lead you right? No, it does what your internal brain is telling you to do. It's behavior. It's what's been taught. So, yes, your internal voice is not always going to tell you the right thing, but I think it's definitely a part of yourself. And you just have to rewire that internal voice to feed you good thoughts and feed you good things and feed you positivity, because it's been wired for so many
it's like the subconscious, right?
Yeah.
It's the subconscious.
There you go. I said the ego. That's exactly what I was. It is.
It is a bit of both, though.
It's a part of you.
Yeah, it's a bit of the ego. It's a bit of the subconscious, and again, that what you mentioned, the discernment of knowing which one is which, recalibrating and training it, making sure what frequency you're on. Because if you're on the wrong frequency, you're gonna be getting the wrong messages in the wrong.
And it don't feel good.
And you get the little person on the couch. The little person on the couch is because that's really what you're thinking too. You're questioning it. You're questioning it. And so it's like, you want the person on the couch to be feeding you like good things, but you have to start with that inside of you. And it's very, very difficult. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Queen Cookie, you brought me to the next book of recommendation, because I want us to all, like, I got like a bunch of books that Z, you really, if you tap into the, yes, girl, you got her notes. That's what I'm talking about. So this new book that I'm reading is Joe Dispenza's.
Oh, there you go.
What's the name?
Can we just give Joe a round of applause?
Yeah.
Joe Dispenza.
I watch him on YouTube all the time.
Yeah. It's called Becoming Supernatural. So he talks about what Cookie just mentioned in terms of like retraining the brain and the mind and your thoughts in order to feed the things that you want to you.
Which we can do scientifically.
Yes. And we have to literally die to our past in order to create a new future, to then create a new past. Because what happens is, for so long, we're living in, damn, when I was 25, this happened, and if I would have did this, girl, that was how many years ago? It's past, it's done, it's gone.
Oh, we be holding on. We be like, no, but I was 25 then, and it didn't work out. Yeah. So,
and it's
that
like,
means,
right, let it go. Think about what you want it to be. Yeah. It will then come to pass, because now what we just talked about 5 minutes ago is the past, right? We're dead to everything, 5 minutes before that. But if we can hold on to the good, then we will then create the good that we want to see, which then we will create a new past, because it created a new present, which created a new future, which created a new past, right? It's like,
and it's all the same, because all we have is now. So if I'm thinking about the past, I'm thinking about the past now. So it's still now. If I'm thinking about the future, I'm thinking about the future now. So it's still now. So why can't I make my memories I don't like? Why can't I switch those out for memories I do want of the future? Ain't it the same thing? I'm just thinking about some shit right now.
And it's more it's on the positive vibrational frequency, right?
Oh, y'all
so that's another good, right? Another book that I love, and I'm sure you probably read this.
You got books for this.
Come on, librarian.
Because these books literally changed the course of my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
and The Alchemist.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps on
I
telling
could
me to
pick that
read
one
this.
back up. I've read it a
Alchemist
couple of
is
times,
good.
but it's, I'm sure reading it in a different season will bring some different revelations.
The
I
Alchemist.
think a
And so
good
Z,
book.
if you've been getting prompts for The Alchemist, go get it.
Yeah.
Everyone, every time there's a book rack there, they're like The Alchemist. I'm like, all right, I
think
bought it.
alchemy. I mean,
To
I
be
don't think
read.
you need to read the book to understand alchemy, but it's a good background. If you're not familiar,
I'm not.
it's just about taking bad energy and transmuting it into good energy.
Oh, okay.
But I think like a book that kind of changed my life too was, did we say The Seed of the Soul? The Seed of the Soul. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Seed of the
I've heard
Soul.
of that.
It's on Oprah's book
Is
club.
that, yeah, Oprah's book club, yeah.
Yeah, but Seed of the Soul was one of the first books that I felt really changed my perspective in. It was in a dark time of my life where I had experienced death for the first time, and he really talked about, kind of like his theory of what happens after death, and it really soothed like my soul, and just your soul, and just it's really centered on your soul and your power of being here and why you're here, and it was just really calming for me, and I think it's really puts into perspective like your purpose, and I think that's where what we really fail to see is the real big picture here is our purpose, and we are so in the drama of everything that we're like sometimes we're not even seeing, like we're here for a way bigger we're here for a way bigger thing than we're focused on, like,
And
what's
we're
gonna
already
happen
walking in it.
and and you really don't really, I guess, come to your purpose until after you die, and then your legacy is really what your purpose was here on life, and we're so caught up in all the busyness, but it's really about, finding your soul and really being here and being present and walking in your purpose. So I really like that book. It was really good for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Wayne Dyer got some good books.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have
love
all
Wayne
his books.
Dyer. Yes, Wayne goes
Dyer is a great
hard.
one. Mm-hmm.
And then,
I started with like my baby journey started with like crawling was The Secret.
Yeah,
like I started
I
with The
remember when
Secret.
that, yeah.
And that was like, oh, it was everything but it just puts it into a way that just makes
perspective.
Yeah. And then when I'm like been feeling funky and I don't know anymore, I listened to a couple more of Rhonda Bynes books, which were her follow-ups, which was the Hero's Journey, and it's The Secret, The Hero's Journey, and the Power. The Power. Those were her books that The Power. They always somehow reeled me back into just being like, all right, Tani, like, just chill out. Like, you are a speck in the entire universe. Relax.
Oh, a speck though, like
a speck, like an ant.
Girl,
You're
that's
like an
what
ant.
that's what helped me
You're a
calm with the
gnat.
dramatics. I used to be upset.
You're just a gnat in this world.
Wow.
those are my great books. Joyce Meyer, in addition to T.D. Sarah Jakes. I listen to Joyce Meyer. I find her really great. And my pastor, I consider him my pastor, is Pastor Michael Todd from Transformation Church.
I've been hearing about this pastor. Yeah,
he's young, but he is anointed, and his messages are great. And he always uses scripture to back up, what he teaches. So those are all the things I kind of like, tap into.
A little mishmash, a little pot of things. Because even when you were talking, I was thinking about one that helped me, and I already told you this, Cookie, but The Big Leap. It helped me see like my upper limiting. It talks about
it's very simple, but it's so good. Yeah,
it's profound.
The upper limit level. Yeah.
It is profound. Like basically when things start going well, when we start showing up in magazines and the network is growing, we create some boundaries. Be upset. We go wreck our car. We go fight.
Self-sabotage.
Yes.
Yeah. So it basically, so the upper limit level is basically this glass ceiling that we all put on ourselves. So like you said, Zanata, Zanata, sorry, you got your house. You got everything you have right now that you wanted,
but you're self-sabotaging now that you got what you have that you wanted.
Right.
That's exactly what the big leap is about. You've hit your upper limit. You hit what you wanted, and now you're self-sabotaging.
Wow. I gotta
And
check
that-
this.
You're
out.
used to the
Yes.
temperature being at 72. So when we get higher than that, you're like, no, bring it
Well,
back
what do
down
I
to
do?
72. I don't want too
Right.
much joy and happiness.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
not
because
right.
because that means I'm gonna fall and fall further. Like something bad is bound to happen.
Yeah.
Something bad is gonna happen. Yeah.
Dang,
the
when I
big
think
leap is
about
good.
how
It's a good
long,
read.
when I think about how many times I thought about something bad was going to happen, I lived in the thought of something bad happening longer than actually something bad happening.
Why do we do that to
Oh, I
ourselves?
Which is
feel
such a
that in
waste
my
of time.
life right now. Thank you for that, because I've been like, oh, my life been kind of smooth lately. Like, I'm like, should I put my seatbelt on? Am I gonna like? I need to hold on for dear life. Like, what's going on? Be like, guys, it's kind of smooth over here. Like, what you got up your sleeve? Like,
No, welcome
And
to
I
what
know-
life was really
I know,
is.
and I know I shouldn't think that something negative is gonna happen to me, but it's that programming that something's gonna come. You know, it can't be too good.
Right.
And like, it's that upper limit. It's that upper limit. Me not thinking that my life can't be like this. Why can't my
And
life?
that that you're not deserving of it.
Why can't
Right.
exactly? Why don't I
Yeah.
deserve this? Why don't I deserve smoothness? Why don't I deserve this?
Why
I'm
do you
addicted.
believe you don't?
I'm addicted to that stuff too. I'm addicted to trauma. I'm
We all
addicted to pain. I'm addicted to things not working out, because then it's the when I fix them, I'm like, oh yeah, I fixed it.
Right.
You
You know,
good.
I'm addicted to that, you know, but when everything's good like it is right now, I'm like, well, what do I do?
I need to feel something. Let me go.
And even
I'm
like
not fixing anything.
and even like where the world is now, right? It's like we hear every day somebody's dying from this, dying from that, people taking the vax, they're getting this, they're getting that. It almost feels like, how can I be absolved of these things?
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the
there's like
day,
a guilt there.
there is
you
a
know?
guilt.
A little
There is
bit of guilt for me. I see all these bad things going on. I'm like, well, not
I'm
over
having
here.
a good day.
Or,
Yeah.
Right.
Let me not
No
share my
weapons
joy.
formed against me shall
I don't want
prosper.
to share my joy because these people might be mad because I'm over here in my life.
I'm smiling and right.
You know, I might not want to share too much because then that might be me next week. Like, you know, you know. Sometimes I do feel shame, and that's terrible that we feel shame in sharing our joy.
That's you don't have to do that. You know, Wayne Dyer said that. He's like, you know, yes, there's starving kids, there's this, that, and the other. He was like, but none of that gets solved. You don't add to anything by feeling guilty about it. So you don't add anything. So you might as well, like, that is fact. You're not adding anything by being sorrowful, by being guilty for not being so. It's not fixing the problem. It's not helping the problem. So that kind of helped me like wash my hands of it. Like, I'm okay about praying over things and this, that, and the other, but it's like me sitting here sad and lamenting over something I can't change is not going to help. So if I really want to do something, let me help, you know, use good energy to move something forward. But, you know,
I got a lot of reading to do.
Yeah.
That's a part of the tag, right? Like,
you got a 45-minute. You got a 45-minute drive to New York. You better ebook that. Put it on your car.
Little Audible.
Yeah,
that's right.
I enjoyed the Audible version of The Power of Now because the book version is a little challenging to read. The audio book is not so bad. It's like you can kind of digest it. You might have to pause it and like ponder on it, but it's good. It's good.
That's me on an audiobook. I'm like, wait, what did he say?
Wait, run that back. Hold on.
Rewind. Wait.
Yeah,
I need this.
The Secret.
I might
the
need
secret,
to eat on that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, The Secret, Power, and Hero are also great audiobooks too, because it's just it's almost like sometimes you can zone out and come back in. She's still talking about the same thing, but you know you're just like constantly like
you zone out too. I was like, am I the only one that be zoning out?
No. But she's talking about the same thing. And then so then you realize and you're like, oh, okay, but you're like inundating yourself in this energy of I can do this. Yeah. I can be this. This is not that hard. I can live this.
Yeah, because it's a war. So I feel like I'm constantly, because I have all of these things, I'm like, today I'm using a knife, tomorrow it's a sword. This day it's a machete. I might need a gun. I might need, like, I'm pulling everything out for different moods, different moments, different times. I tell myself different things to keep myself in alignment on that frequency so I can receive. The more, it's like working a muscle. You're going to get the abs if you stop eating the crap and keep working out the good part. Like, you're going to see a change, you know? There's different modalities for different moods. Yeah. I know. Ooh, speaking of, if I didn't eat so many doggone sweets, man, I'd probably be looking like something different over here. I work out all the time, but I eat so much sugar. Y'all would be like, this girl, did you really need
I
to
saw
eat
the picture with the
cupcake?
Christmas cookies. I was like,
girl, I got cookies
already?
for days. Girl,
This is on it.
I just, yeah.
Like, I'm feeling like a bad mom over here. I'm like, I didn't even decorate for Thanksgiving yet. Like,
I'm doing the most. Please don't mind me.
I love it though. Honor that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm in my own world, adulting. So Christmas starts whenever I say, this is my house. No.
I love that energy. Absolutely love it. Oh, this is so amazing.
Ladies, I loved this so much. I had you guys block off an hour, but we were rolling, we were going. You're good, you're here. There was so much value. It was nice to see all your beautiful faces and catch up. We should do a part 2, maybe before the year ends. Let's
do like a recheck,
30
like
days.
where we went from here, and then like where we are.
I love that.
How we're feeling, you know. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you so much. Of course. Anybody have anything they want to well, we shared galore, but before we wrap up and we can get on with our night.
Flow, baby.
Don't get me started.
The flow. Thank you.
Don't get me started. I almost want you to get started, but we'll save that for part 2.
Part 2.
Girl, we be on here for another hour. Give me some more wine.
Man.
Like, right. So I only got this much left. So
refill, please.
Love it. Thank you
so
much.
Yes, you ladies are amazing. Keep killing it. Keep shining. We'll all stay in touch. It should be easy even for all y'all to get each other's socials, or if I can need to connect anybody, just so we can, we're all doing great things out here. So we should remain in the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen.
All right, you guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.